what kind of problems are we seeing, right? Because the sort of the topic of this conversation was this idea of, well, we need to have more of it. So that means not having it is creating some serious problems at the moment.
Yeah.
In your mind, what are some of those? Well, in my mind, I know that there's things like polarization. There's like, there's a lot of anger in terms of like sort of frustration in how we engage with the world. But that's just one side of it. What other problems do you think we are experiencing because we're not engaging in complex conversation?
Yeah, sure. So yes, polarization is one angle. I think, and I do want to actually build on that a little bit, because I think that polarization leads to many forms of discontent and disharmony in the world that we see today. And it's the basic concepts that we start off with, say, in participatory approaches or human-centered design approaches, which are all founded on that basic premise of empathy. Okay, I think there's one, and that comes from, I guess, probably more on the social and the political side. Let's look at the world today and look at what we're going through. Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about COVID, okay? Right? So when COVID hit us, I think at the start, it was certainly me, I was like, oh, I wonder where this is going to go. And then as this thing started snowballing into this chaos that we're in at the moment, and I still think we're there, although we are talking about recovery in different ways, shapes, and forms. I think we were grappling to understand where this was going to go from a personal life perspective, professional life perspective, social life perspective, right? And unfortunately, we are not really trained while we live in it, and this is the irony of it. We live in this complex dynamic system, which is the world, right? But we're not really trained to live in, some may call it ambiguity. I call it, emergence, right? The world is constantly emerging, but we're not trained to actually evolve with it, right? As humans, we like to think in straight linear terms because we like that security. And so I think it's really important to engage in complex conversations so that we can be more resilient as human beings. And also, if we're talking about it professionally, and we're talking about LinkedIn, we're on LinkedIn, which is a professional network, it's about being able to be more resilient as a business. And I'm going to use that term because it's used so much at the moment. It's about us being able to think about the future in a holistic way, embrace the different plausible options for the future given the reality of today by looking at the different systems and subsystems that we're interacting with. So that's why I think it's really important to engage in complex conversations. It's uncomfortable, but I think we need to do it. Otherwise we'd just be, to be honest, I think we'd be fools if we didn't.